It's not like there's a little heart disease fairy that sprinkles heart disease dust on the top of your head. It percolates and builds and is the end result of decades of breakdown in the body, and the medical model is useless, impotent. It cannot do anything about it except poison the heart. Yes, poison it with a beta blocker or calcium channel blocker. It can electrically cauterize the heart. They can do that. Yes, shoot electricity in it to cauterize it. That's another word for saying burn it. How the heck can anybody think that burning the heart with electricity is ever a good idea, but yet that is a standard medical protocol for people who are dealing with arrhythmias? Or they'll stick some device in it, or they'll surgically modify it, or even replace it. Heart disease, like all other secondary health challenges, follows long-term digestive stress, long-term digestive breakdown, particularly at the level of the gallbladder and the liver, as well as long-term dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar, and hypoxia, low blood oxygen, and adrenal distress, and hypothyroidism. There's a major link, by the way, between emotional and mental health, how we think and how we feel, and the heart and heart health. And not understanding these primary causes of the secondary manifestation that takes place at the level of the cardiovascular system means that 30 million Americans, 1 out of every 11 people, and the numbers for African Americans is even scarier, half of all black men and women are victims of cardiovascular disease. 30 million Americans, half of all African Americans, and most of them are left to twist in the wind with nothing but barbaric medieval strategies such as ablation, that is burning the heart, or chemical ablation, that is poisoning the heart, or sticking balloons and stents and pacemakers or surgically manipulating it. And cancer, the second leading cause of death in this country, same way. A couple days ago, we talked to a gentleman who was dealing with basal cell cancer. Later on that day, this was Tuesday, I believe, I talked to a guy on the phone. He had 7 basal cell cancers removed, and they kept coming back. This is a classic case of dealing with the leaves while you leave the roots intact. And the only person who benefits is the guy getting paid to remove the basal cell carcinomas. The reason for the appearance of any cancer, let alone one that returns 7 times, can be summed up in one word: byproduct. Basal cell carcinoma, basal cell cancer is not life-threatening, obviously, as far as health challenges go. There's a lot worse. But what this really is a demonstration that something is missing. Something is wrong. Something is not getting into the body that should be, or something that is getting into the body that shouldn't be, or a combination thereof. Everything that we're looking for in terms of our health is a function of simple, basic ideas. Simplicity. This is so important, you guys. Simplicity. We have been bamboozled into thinking you need a medical degree, you need to go to college for 6 or 7 years, you need internships, you need to be an expert, you need to be authority. I am here to tell you health is simple. And how we address our health challenges can be equally simple. And it doesn't require a medical intervention for the most part, unless you got some trauma, of course. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back right after this. All right, we are back on The Bright Side. Thanks for joining us. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls here in a sec. Got lines open for you. From the journal Lancet Neurology, cerebrovascular disease linked to Alzheimer's, circulatory system disease, dirty blood. Where have you heard that before? According to authors of the study, or of the article, diseased blood vessels in the brain itself may contribute more significantly to Alzheimer's dementia than was previously believed. Oh, yes, but they want to give you a vaccine for Alzheimer's disease. They want to blame plaques and tau proteins for Alzheimer's disease. Dirty blood is a common denominator to all chronic degenerative diseases. Blood becomes dirty from food, blood becomes dirty from sugar, blood becomes dirty from toxicity, and then blood stagnation results in low oxygenation or poor oxygenation, and thusly all health challenges ensue. It turns out that the plaques, those amyloid plaques, that are secreted in the brain actually are natural antibiotics. Yes, study published in Science Translational Medicine has found, quote, additional evidence, they already knew this, but this is additional evidence, that amyloid beta protein, that's the stuff that's deposited in the brain of Alzheimer's victims. This is the stuff you read about, the plaques that they want to vaccinate you against, that they're trying to come up with drugs to prevent. Well, guess what? They're a normal part of the body's immune system. Yes, they're the body's first line of defense against infection. This is a common strategy. The body will secrete these fibers when it needs to protect itself. Whenever you have fibrosis of any kind, and Alzheimer's disease is a fibrotic condition, it's a fibrosis condition caused by the direct cause is these plaques, but the plaques themselves are a defensive response to toxicity, to a lack of nutrition, to the same things, folks. They call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes because there's a link between sugar, between dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar, and Alzheimer's disease as well. From the British Medical Journal, no association between bad cholesterol and elderly deaths. How do you like that? High levels of a certain type of cholesterol called LDL cholesterol, specific type of LDL. People who have high levels of this LDL live as long, this is a quote, live as long and often longer than their peers with low levels of the same cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, unquote. So I'm telling you, there's no bad cholesterol. There's nothing bad here. Even the fibers in Alzheimer's disease are not bad. They're part of the immune system. The job of a true healthcare professional is not to shut down the production of these things, but to figure out why they're elevated, why they're going crazy, why the cells are secreting so much of this stuff. That's what a real healthcare professional, somebody who really cares about health, will do. Of course, we don't need healthcare professionals because we can do it all ourselves. This is the take-home message that we talk about here every day. We can do this ourselves. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Mary in Oregon. Welcome to the bright side, Mary. What's up?
Hi. Real quickly, that guy that called last week and said he was hungry when he drank the BTT.
Yeah.
I have been on the Mighty 90 for years, and of course, once I got on it, I was no longer hungry. But there was an interesting thing. When I drank the BTT, I would think I was hungry. And, for instance, yesterday I goofed. I came inside after working out, and I took a big swig, accidentally. And about 2 minutes later, I'm saying to myself, I'm so hungry. And I said, no, you're not.
Interesting.
What I found to do is when I sip the BTT, I follow it by something that's not sweet, and I'm just fine.
Like, what do you do?
Well, you taught me to put BTT in my green tea, and that's what I...
Okay. I'm sipping on that right now, actually.
Uh-huh.
BTT and green
cool.
tea. I love that combination. That's awesome. So do you find that satisfies you, that you're full?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Just the green tea.
I'm back to what I used to be when I was doing the Ultimate Classic liquid. That was all we had then for the Mighty 90.
Well, very nice, Mary. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. Anything else going on?
Yeah. I was very sad that I had to give the Amasai up for what used to be my old hay fever season.
Yeah.
And you told me that if I increased my enzymes and increased my probiotics, I shouldn't have to do that. Well, I couldn't afford to do that, but I would like to do an experiment.
Yeah.
I now have 3 bottles of enzymes on hand and 3 bottles of nightly essence on hand, and I'd like to start back on the Almasai 10 days earlier than I did last year. So for me, weighing 120 pounds, what of each of those would you suggest I take?
Which are the enzymes and the probiotics?
Yes.
You're on the nightly essence?
Yes.
Take 2 or 3 of the enzymes with your meals and with your Amasai. And you can't overdose on either of these, by the way. It's just a question of finding the sweet spot for you. I would start off with 2 or 3 of the enzymes, and then 9 of the ultimate EFAs a day, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 3 at night. But both of these supplements, you want to practice functional dosing. And functional dosing is where you take just enough, where you take the perfect amount, not too much, not too little. And the only way to know is by taking, say, 3 of them and seeing how you feel, and then taking 4 of them and seeing how you feel, and then taking 5 of them and seeing how you feel, and noticing where you don't get an improvement. So you take 3 and you say, okay, I feel okay. And then you take 4, you say, wow, I feel much better. And then you take 5 and you say, whoa, I feel awesome. And then you take 6 and you go, well, I didn't notice too much of a difference. Then you'll know that 5 is your sweet spot. That's called functional dosing. Does that make sense how I explained that?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And that's the way you want to dose the probiotics, also the glucogel caps, and the ultimate enzymes. Go by how you feel. Keep raising the dose until you don't notice that you get a big difference, and then stay at that dose where you get them, where you notice you feel really, really good. I usually start off with 3 enzymes after meals, and then 9 of the ultimate EFAs every day. 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night. Okay?
You're saying EFAs. Do you mean nightly essence?
I meant nightly essence. I'm sorry.
Okay,
EFA is the same way, though. EFAs work the same way. Yes, I meant nightly essence, but yes, you do the same thing with the EFAs.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I already do that. Thank you.
Good deal. Thanks for calling me. I appreciate it. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lots of lines open for you. Pam in Michigan, welcome to the bright side.
Hello, fabulous pharmacist Ben. How are
you? I know who you are. Are you the gal who's been emailing me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad you called back. We left you on hold the other night, and I didn't realize that was the gal you were talking about was the gal from Massachusetts, Philomena, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now she's doing better? Is she? I haven't talked to her for a while. Is she doing better?
Well, she was doing very well. Actually, she was better. Yeah, she was doing better.
Well, let me set this up before you, Pam. Let me set this up for the listeners real quick, okay? And if this is the same lady that I'm thinking of, she's an older gal, and I talked to her several months ago, and she was just absolutely miserable. She was in tears. She was so miserable because she couldn't stand up. She was so dizzy, and it was very nice gal. And I spent a lot of time talking to her on the phone, and I gave her some ideas, and I didn't hear back from her. And I'm glad you called back because I would like to get an update on her because that vertigo is just miserable. And this poor woman was in tears. She was going crazy. All right, hang on, Pam. We'll get to you. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lines open for you. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we're back on the bright side talking to Pam in Michigan. Got lines open for you at 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products or formulations or ingredients or the Truth Skin Health products, by the way, you can take a look at our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side. Got a few more minutes to talk to you. Pam in Michigan. Pam, you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Ben.
How did you get a hold of this gal, by the way?
She's in our downline.
Oh, she's doing longevity. Is she the one with the accent? She's got a heavy accent?
Yes, she's from Portugal.
Portugal. Okay, yeah. I didn't realize she was part of the longevity team, or she was on your team. So I don't think I told her about the longevity products, but I gave her the standard stuff that I always tell people. Make sure she's relaxing, deep breathing, doing the bone soup, just general basic ideas. And then I didn't hear back from her. So give me an update there, Pamela.
And so it's been 4 months she's been on the products. And, sometimes we get a little tired of the bone soup and stuff. And, so she went that way a little bit. But she did have a breakthrough. And what happened was she started soaking her feet in some baking soda. Okay. And we asked her to stand behind a chair, a high-back chair, and bounce. Okay. And, get on a bouncer and thing, get that deep breathing going like you suggest. Okay. And so she did that, and then she had a black particle of wax maybe come out of her ear. And so it kind of frightened her, and she went to the doctor. They flushed it out, gave her antibiotics and a leave. And in about, 2-3 days after that, she said she was worse than she'd ever been. She was very, anxiety and everything just kind of, set in at that point. And so she went back to the doctor, and he scraped it out, and she went back to a specialist. She went to a specialist, and he sprayed some stuff in there. He said, don't do the antibiotics and leave anymore, and come back in 12 days. And so she said she feels better. I think what had happened was maybe she had a Herxheimer effect from the antibiotics and, the deep breathing, everything she was doing. And so she's doing better.
Yeah.
I talked to her yesterday, and she's very grateful for you and everything you've taught her. And so right now she's just she's got this anxiety going on, and she says she feels this heaviness on the left side of her head.